All right, we're doing it. We're doing it. Okay, that's that side of my head. Who knows? Who knows, people? So, hello. Yay, I'm back. Yay, you are going to be here too momentarily, I can just tell. And we're here together for the next hour. Good stuff. Good stuff. Yeah. The YouTube is alerting the people. I have alerted the people. And we're going to be hanging out together tonight if you choose to. Really quick, because you know what? It's early yet. My name is Beth. I'm a decluttering life coach, and my coaching is called Destination Declutters. There's some of my people. This is what I call, and here's the funny thing. I should get a little mirror like Miss Jean on Romper Room, but instead I have my Mr. Microphone. Thanks to Carla. So good evening, Regina and McDougs and Laura V and Mary C and Penny M and Sue Storm, Judy Dukes, that uno persona, Danielle, she's back. Yeah, I am back. The people were alerted. I am grateful that the system works, right? So yeah, I am back. I had a lovely time away, but I'm also just as happy to be back, kind of back in the swing of things. Okay, I'm going to put my microphone down, but you know I'm going to be picking it up throughout the night. Um, Random microphone thing. I had no idea until today what 90% of the lyrics are to Boogie Wonderland, and yet I was dance Boogie Wonderland. That's pretty much all you need to know. But when I was on this trip and I was trying to sing along, I was like, I really don't know these words. So as I was eating my dinner tonight, I had my phone on and I was saying, you know what I should do is I should look up the lyrics. And I was like, I've been singing that song for years. I have no idea what they were saying. There we go. Therapy Gal Sue knows about the secret page, and I know many of you do. In case you don't, or you just need a refresher, those of you on the Destination Decluttered email mailing list, first of all, hopefully you got the email that I sent out this afternoon saying I'm back. I'm going to be on tonight, and we've got some YouTube lives scheduled for the rest of the month, as well as four, count them, four, not two mints in one. Like what was that? Certs, 2 mints in one. But we've got four decluttering parties happening between now and the end of the month, both on Saturdays and Sundays. So you got that, but also Louise, good evening. Good evening. Sue is mentioning the secret page. The secret page. I feel like Pee Wee Herman. What the secret page is basically a real easy shortcut. So I suggest you bookmark it. That's always where I will update the best stuff for the people on the mailing list. Now, the mailing list is free. I don't like to send too many emails. I know I'm supposed to, but I don't like it when I'm boom, 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 pinged by emails. So I just don't do it. But if you ever want to see the most up to date stuff, go to the secret page for the members of the only for the members of the mailing list. And if you want to be on the mailing list and you're not on it, destinationdecluttered.com/join. Wicked easy. Now, here's a fun thing. I'm going to try something that's just occurred to me. I don't know if we can do this, but like I just literally said that, there we go, that website. I'm going to see if I can put it in the chat here. There we go. There it is. And look, it might even be hyperlinked. Check out me and learning new stuff all the freaking time. All right. So, um, let me just give a heart to this text that somebody sent to me. I had a lovely conversation with you know what? Lovely neighbor conversations. It's one of the things I love about coming home is who are the people in your neighborhood? In your neighborhood, in your neighborhood. Well, who are the people in your neighborhood? They're the people that you meet each day. Remember that one? Remember Bob? God, I had a crush on Bob. Yeah, I had a crush on Bob. Um, and and I'm definitely a bit of Ernie and Bert. Um, so yeah, so I had the luck, and I'm thinking today, um, Oh, I love this. Let's just jump right into the comments because Laura Voorhees has a decluttering win. And anybody else who has a decluttering win, put it in the comments and I'll read it out for all to hear so we can celebrate you. And also those of you who are out puttering and decluttering. Maybe you're cleaning up, what is it? Early to rise and early to bed. And in between, I cooked and cleaned and went out of my head. You're at Mel's Diner, you're Mel and your Flo with Kiss My Grits, and you're wiping down the grill and you're shutting stuff down today. So I will amplify with my YouTube channel and my microphone the wins. All right, Laura V had declutter wins. I gifted two prom dresses from 85 and 86 to a friend who has a prom closet. Did you hear my Boston accent right there? A prom closet and also does costumes for high school theater shows. Now, how freaking cool is that? Here's a funny thing. It blows my mind that even our clothes from back in the day might be considered vintage clothing. That would be like a kid trying on a prom dress from 1945 in 1985. Can you even believe it? you know? So I love this. Another decluttering win, Cheryl S says, we got both of our bathrooms deep cleaned this last weekend. So good. We had some work done. Somebody needed to do stuff in ours, and I realized how, like, when the light hits it just right, we need to do a deep clean on ours too. So good idea. You know, um, such a cool thing to have fun with. I'm going to put the microphone down. Having fun. Actually, I should. Having fun with what you're doing with your clutter makes it like something you look forward to as opposed to something you recoil from and you dread, right? Even if the task itself is not particularly fun inducing, anybody know what, like, notice the difference in how it feels to walk into like a fuzzy, grungy, I'm just going to describe my own bathroom here. Do not take offense. But a bathroom, when you walk in and there's like dust all around the corners, there's dust in the wind. All we are is dust in the bathroom. And you've got water spots and little flicks from where you've brushed your teeth and they're on the mirror. And then the towels are all grungy. You know that feeling. On the other hand, how does it feel when you go into a nice, clean, shiny, crisp, fresh bathroom? That to me is delightful. So notice how sometimes the task itself does not spark the joy, as Miss Kondo used to say, or Ms. Kondo, or Mrs. Kondo. But knowing that your work is going to pay off and you're going to get a result at the end, you can also hopefully enjoy the process. Okay. So yay, Cheryl. And Laura has been meaning to do it, to let go of the gowns for a long time. And I finally did it. And you did it right at the time that people are going to be looking for prom dresses. So awesome. And Cheryl's feeling awesome too. Um, uh, Cheryl is saying, so happy with our results. Oh, Penny Myers. Everybody give some nubbins, as I like to say, for Penny Myers. She got shingles and she didn't know what it was. So everybody get your shingles shots. Okay? You singles don't get your shingles, and you marrieds too. Everybody get your shingles shots. Better to have the shot than not get the shingles. So Jess, nice to see you, Jess. Efren Carr, love that you're mixing up your names. Why the hell not? Christine is asking, did you share about your trip yet? No, I didn't. But I will if you want me to. I will be honest with you. I may be little bit over quiet about certain things that go on in my life because I don't want to feel like I'm showing off. But since you asked, here's what I did for the last many days. As many of you know, or if you don't, my husband is a musician and he plays in a variety of bands. And one of the bands he plays in was invited to play on a music cruise that left Fort Lauderdale and is going to a bunch of places in like the Caribbean or the Mexican Riviera or what have you. And so we were lucky enough to be on a portion of that cruise. And so we flew down to Fort Lauderdale. I will share this. I will share this. The cruise was fun, met a lot of nice people, heard some great music. The weather was warm. It was delightful. One of the highlights of this trip did not even happen on the cruise. It happened before the cruise. And I am proud of myself for making it happen, which is I realized we were going to be in Fort Lauderdale. Now, he and I have not been in Fort Lauderdale. We rarely go to Florida anymore. But we haven't been there in literally like 10 years. And when we were there 10 years ago, we went to this awesome place called the Mai Kai restaurant. The Mai Kai. It's so cool. I'm going to see if I can put the thing. Mai Kai, Fort Lauderdale. Yeah. And what I want to offer to you is it had closed down. It was trying to keep itself alive during COVID. Here, I'm putting it in the chat. And it's a cool old kind of Polynesian place. And so I expressly got us an earlier flight so we would have time to go take an Uber there and go to happy hour and get some tiki drinks in this shipwreck bar that we hadn't been in 10 years. And it was so fun. So that was a great time. So thank you for asking. I had a lovely time. I was glad to get off the boat. Yesterday I was feeling, and even today I felt a little bit like I get the sea legs, but I'm also just as happy to get home. So thank you for asking. And I did have a lovely trip. And so thank you. Um, and oh, did I? Yeah, I did send it. Okay. Here's a fun thing. Now, I think we did this last time, and I thought this was kind of fun to get in the habit of. So first of all, notice that I have gotten into the habit of doing these YouTube lives once a week, kind of late night. And I use the air quotes because to some people this is not late at all, but at 8 p.m. And I think I'm going to be doing that next week too. And who knows? This time seems to work for me. And what I often do, even if I wasn't doing this, is I would sit and get some quiet time and I would pause and reflect. I like to say this is like, again, I often couch things as if we are sitting in the driver's seat of a car. So think about today, sitting after driving all around your life today, you're parked in the driveway. And before you get out of the driver's seat for the evening, pausing and just looking in the rearview mirror and reflecting on what happened today. Now, all sorts of things happened today. You felt all sorts of ways throughout the day. And what you choose to remember, you tend to create more of. So I have made it a practice and a habit is a practice because you practice doing it, and hopefully it becomes a habit of pausing and reflecting and kind of, as the old song would say, accentuate the positive to remind myself that within the crappy stuff that might have happened, some good stuff happened too. And sometimes the good stuff can be small yet important. So let's do this, shall we? I like to sit and get quiet and I like to just write down some of those things. So I'll give you a few minutes to prep if you care to join. If you don't care to join, fine. It'll be over in literally about a minute because what I'm going to do is I'm going to set my timer. Time for timer. Remember that one? I'm going to set my timer for a minute. And while I'm talking about this, grab yourself a piece of paper. Maybe you've coached with me and you've bought yourself what I call a fun, like a keeper book, a good book. And let's just pause for a minute, give ourselves some quiet and reflect. Pause and look back on today and search for the good stuff and write it down, no matter what it is. Heck, I mean, I feel bad for Penny and her shingles. Maybe you're grateful that you don't have shingles. Maybe you say to yourself, oh, goodness, I feel so bad for Penny. And you write down, tomorrow I'll go get my shingles shot. Okay. And let's just pause and spend a moment writing down some of the good stuff. I promise the timer will only be a minute. But notice how long a minute can be, a powerful minute of just sitting there, pausing and reflecting. Okay. Here we go. I got my timer. It's already set for a minute for whatever reason. I'm starting the timer and I'll put it up here so you can hear it when it goes off. Okay. I'm going to write down, I'm going to reflect on my day. What are some good things? Why don't we all do it together, shall we? Boop, there we go. If your brain ever wants to tell you you don't have time to do something, did you notice how just 1 minute, 60 seconds can feel like a wicked long time when you're just quiet there with somebody? That's one of the reasons I set the timer. Oops, it almost reset itself. I'm going to stop that. I hope you came up with some good stuff that happened today. I hope you came up with some good stuff that you made happen, that you planted some seeds, maybe some seeds that you planted months ago bloomed today. They did for me. You guys, some of the crocus things that we planted back in October bloomed today. We got to see them because we came home. I raced in the house. I said to my husband, "Come out and look, the crocuses bloomed." We're there looking at them. I'm taking pictures. I'm sharing them with my mother and my sister. Some people were walking down the street. We're like, "Our crocuses are blooming. Check it out." It can be as small as a crocus. I forgot to write this one down. I saw some forsythia buds as I was walking home this evening from walking down and getting some exercise. Yay, Penny Myers, even though she's crappy feeling about the shingles, her crocuses started to bloom. Yes, isn't that a wonderful feeling? And notice that concept of delayed gratification, planting a seed and trusting that it's not going to pop up overnight, but some of them will. All the seeds you plant will not bloom. But if you don't plant any seeds, you definitely aren't getting any crocuses on your lawn. So maybe you planted some seeds for some good stuff to happen today. I am famous for planting seeds because I want good stuff to bloom throughout my calendar year. I want one of those, like my life to be one of those gardens that something blooms all the time, something here and then that fades out and something here and fades out. That's how I want my life to be. And so I plant seeds for the future. I have plans, we firmed up some plans for August. I love it. McDoug's amaryllis, I believe, versus if your armadillos, that's how I'm pronouncing it. I'm cracking myself up. Your amaryllis bloomed. Yeah. Notice it started with you planting a seed of something you wanted. I would like this thing to bloom one day. I want to enjoy that bloom. And then you tended to it. You didn't just set it and forget it like Ron Popeil. You had some things bloom today that you planted seeds on. If some of your seeds have not bloomed, trust that it's just not the time. Okay, I love it. McDoug's has both amaryllis and armadillos. I love that. That's great. What a fun thing. So just think, even though some of your things haven't bloomed, doesn't mean they're not going to bloom. Here's a lovely 3-letter word that I love. Yet. It hasn't happened. Wah, wah. It hasn't happened yet. Ha ha. It hasn't happened yet. I like to say the answer isn't no, it's just not now. So, keeping the door open for opportunity. So, I highly encourage you to do this because there is a lot of crap going on. You know, there is a lot of crap going on, and you can let it affect you, and you can let it weigh you down, and you can feel crappy. And when you feel crappy, you tend to do crappy. But when you feel better, you tend to do better. And sometimes feeling okay during times of contention is all about the dose of the poison, the dose. How much of the news are you going to be imbibing to make you aware of what's going on? So you're an aware person making an informed decision. You're not hiding your head in the sand. Whoa, there's my head hiding in the sand. But you're also not 24/7 caught in the tractor beam of all the hellaciousness, knowing when to turn it off, to turn it down, to shrink it down, to put it on a black and white TV way over there. And then to remind yourself of the good stuff that can recalibrate you. Laura V says daffodils are peeking out from the ground. It's a hopeful feeling. I love that I have discovered that my neighbors like walking by my gardens when they are in bloom and literally smell the roses, and it makes me happy. Yeah, yeah. And having that smell of a rose can set somebody's day in the right direction. A smile to somebody as you're crossing paths when you're walking down the sidewalk, and you smile as opposed to look away or glare or stick your tongue out or whatever. These little moments add up to feeling human, feeling good. And when you feel good, hopefully you will do good. You will take action. Because when you're not feeling good, I don't know about you, but when I'm not feeling good, I'm laying in the bed with the covers over me, and then I can't help other people. Now, feeling not good is going to happen to all of us. Hopefully, not all of us will get shingles, but we're going to get sick. We're going to be laid out. We take it in stride. We know that too has its own lifespan. It's very organic. We will do things, hopefully, to prevent ourselves from feeling not good. Like, I'll be honest with you guys, I'm going to get an old lady moment right here. I knew we were going to be eating a lot of random foods on this cruise ship, right? Because that's what you got, right? I was so old ladyish, I took some fiber pills to make sure that I didn't get a rumbly tumbly, as I like to call it. Doing things to increase the likelihood that you will feel better. I guess you could call like little fiber pills or little seeds you're planting to make sure that you feel better. And Penny says, I always stop and smell people's roses. Yeah. And aren't we thankful for the people who grow the roses? I love the fact that we have those. I hope people enjoy seeing our crocuses. I don't keep them all to myself. They're not in the backyard. No, I have them on the front yard so people can share. I hope people get joy out of the fact that our forsythia is going to bloom. Lilacs. Oh, Lori, I love stopping and smelling people's lilacs. I will pull them and I will shove my nose in them, and that smell never gets old to me. I don't like fake lilac smell, but man, fresh lilacs, springtime sends me back to like the Brady's backyard in the 70s, and it's just so fresh, such a good thing. Now, those are things we're talking about that you plant a seed. Decluttering is also planting a seed. Do you look around? Are you looking around your room right now? Seriously, what room are you in right now? Is there something that you could kind of putter and declutter and put away so that that you could even just make your room smell better? Could you crack a window open a little bit and get some fresh air in, even if it might be a little bit chilly? Could you put the garbage out because it's starting to stink? You know? Oh, Cheryl, COVID, flu, and RSV last night, getting ready for a cruise next Friday. Getting your shots. Good. Notice doing things today to help you feel better tomorrow. I feel like I was just, there's like a trademark on that. Doing things today to feel better tomorrow. Alcoa, proud sponsors of the Ed Sullivan Show, right? Isn't that what it sounded like? But it's true. It's true. We are so used to having things immediate, but the temporary discomfort. Notice Cheryl got multiple shots. Now I got a needle in my arm today because they were taking blood, and I am alive, I promise you. But I have the shyest veins. They scoop down, and so it can be hard. It was a temporary discomfort to know that I'm going to be okay when they run all this blood work and they're like, "Yeah, you're fine." Right? But instead of wondering about it, I'm doing something about it. instead of being paralyzed with fear of the needle, which I have been as a little kid. I even said to the lady, I was like, I have shy veins. It may take you a while. Do the best you can, but please know I'm going to look away and try to pretend I'm in a hot tub and do some deep breathing so I can relax and just encourage my blood to flow through that tube. It wasn't the greatest thing, but it was over. And then I treated myself. I walked over to the grocery store and I got myself something to eat because I had been fasting. See, Laura Voorhees, the visible veins people. Yeah, my husband, he's got those like European veins. They just stick out, boom, like that. Mine are shy. They're tucked in. They're like, no, don't come get me. And thank you for donating blood. Thank you. Yeah. Notice what you're doing. You're giving something that you are trusting that you will have more of to people you will never meet. You know? Oh, and that's wonderful. Penny Myers did it too. Now, I will be honest with you. I have rarely, if ever, given blood because it is such a hard thing for me to find my veins and it can be painful. So I have extra admiration for the people who do it. And notice giving blood is kind of like decluttering. I know I'm riffing here. I'm riffing here, but think about it. You are trusting that if you give away some of your blood, your body is going to make more for you. So you will not get into lack. You're not giving away a finite amount of thing. It will reproduce itself. You are giving away something precious that can help somebody, and you probably will never know the person you helped, but you are doing it because you are the kind of person who will help somebody you don't even know with your abundance of hopefully a really good blood type, right? So there we go. Yes, Judy Duke says, my daughter is a phlebotomist. She's always looking for good veins. Thanks for being kind to the phlebotomist. You know what? I know I make it difficult for them. So I also know, and I will share this, you guys. When I go in there, I don't want to be like, oh, oh, you're not doing a good job. You can't find the vein. Who's going to find it? I'm like, I know you're going to do a great job. I know my is difficult, but you're going to do the best you can. And do not start to worry when you can't find the vein. That's more on me than it is you. So I gave the phlebotomist a pep talk so she wouldn't get nervous about not being able to find the vein. So treating the people you work with and expecting they're going to do a good job, telling them, I know you're going to do a good job, might be planting a seed with them to say, yes, I can do this. I can do a good job versus shit, I can't find the vein. Right. So, oh, that's cool. Penny Myers offers for anybody who's thinking of doing the blood. The Red Cross app tells where the blood goes. That's great. Oh, see, that's great. Oh, I love this. So Laura is saying, and notice this, notice the reasons we do certain things. And it may not just to be, and it could be in the memory of somebody. Laura Voorhees says, my father died in October from leukemia. He benefited from transfusions, and I donate in his memory. I want to help others. And I love this because her blood type is A plus or A positive, excuse me, a good kind for a teacher. Yeah, get it? A plus. How cool. Think about the abundance of things that you have in your home that if you release them from your home, it really wouldn't affect your life drastically. If anything, it might improve it because you'd reduce the number of things you have to take care of in your house. And think of knowing that it's going to go to a good place. Not thinking I'm getting rid of this and I feel wasteful and I feel, I'm not being a good steward of this stuff. You're getting it back out into the circulation of the world where the things you don't want have the more likelihood of connecting up with somebody that could really use it or really just enjoy it. Never mind useful things. I mean, look at like out of the things in this shelf thing right here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. A good almost half of these things here came from somebody I don't know. They donated something to somebody. They said, I don't want this anymore, and I'm going to put it in a place where somebody might get it. Was this a thrift store or an antique store or a garage sale or eBay or a trash, pile. Yes, all of those places. And my life is the better for it because I love using those things. So just think about that idea that your decluttering isn't getting you into lack, that you're trusting that you will have just the right amount for you. And what you're doing is you're helping somebody else with your stuff. Okay. Now, that one persona says, yes, let the items you used to love get new life breathed into them by someone else that will love it. And this includes people you don't like and you're dating, okay? You can let them go and they'll find somebody who likes them more than you do or did. I often joke, I will share this with you. I do not have any children, never wanted them, never had them. I feel blessed my entire life. There are so many children in the world that have me to thank for their existence because if I stayed with their now fathers who art in heaven, I had to throw that in there. I'm Boston Catholic. Um, if I stayed with them, those children would never be there. But we realized it wouldn't be a good fit. We released. They went back into circulation, and they found somebody who they could have kids with, who wanted that, and boom, kids, kids. I don't know what's wrong with these kids today. Kids, you know where you stand with a pet. Oh, funny. I love this. Hey, there we go. Narelle, I love this. You found me by chance, or was it really by chance? I think there's a song. I know that's in a song. And yeah, nice to see you, Leslie. Yay. Now I love this. Judy Duke says, I had decided, notice, decluttering is decision making. I had decided last week I was getting rid of precious moments, not when will I see you again? No, not those ones, because that's a good song. You want to keep the song, but those little figurines with the big heads and the droopy eyes, right? Then I saw some go for 25 cents and thought, oh man, really? That's all? And then I decided it's okay. I still don't want them. Yeah. Notice the decisions can change depending upon how much money they go for. But you made the important decision of saying, I do not want this any longer and feeling good about it. Okay. Now, Norel, it's lovely to see you again. Um, okay, now I love this. Now I don't even know what it is. Penny Meyer says, I found a vintage Homeco Pedro Siesta figurine at the Sally's. We would call it the Sal's actually. That's ours, the Salvation Army for $2. And it reminds me it's okay to rest. Yes. Isn't it fascinating? And Ellen, it's nice to be back. But isn't it fascinating that many of us, and Narelle and any international people, I will just get all like American for a sec, how different cultures move through the world, how different cultures get like a month off in the summer, how different cultures get hours off in the middle of the day to siesta. And just by the luck of the draw, a bunch of us happen to live in the United States, and resting and taking time off is seen as a sign of weakness, you know? And oh, I love it. Narelle says, and I believe you said you're from Australia, right? We call it the salvos. I love it. The salvos. That's great. I used to have a crush. I've always had crushes on boys. What can I say? Chris Salvo, such a cutie, fourth grade, artistic. I think he ended up being gay and then becoming a doctor or vice versa. I don't know the exact order of things. Chris Salvo. um, here's a fun one. We have one. I'll give you one back, Narelle. We have, at least up in Massachusetts where I grew up, a thrift store type thing called the St. Vincent de Paul. And my sister and I call it the SV de P, St. Vincent de Paul. So it's like, oh, I got that at the SV de P. Kind of rolls off the tongue that way. Oh, okay. I love it. Narelle is surrounded by Americans in the resort. I love it. Good. I hope they are nice people, and I hope they are. There are many of us who are nice. There's a small minority that are not nice, that are jamming it up for the rest of us. There we go. You called the Vinnies. That's awesome. So we have reflected on what good stuff happened today because where we are, it's 8:35 p.m. Eastern Coast time, whatever it is. I think it's Greenwich Mean Time plus 5, but I could be wrong. That's what the Google is for. What can you do between now and the time you go to bed? And I'll speak majority. I will speak from the time zone that I am in. Your mileage may vary, but you can just apply this later in the day. What can you do before you go to bed to increase the likelihood that you're going to feel good while you're going to bed and while you're in bed, and maybe even planting the seeds of waking up feeling good in the morning? What comes to mind when I say that? What could I do now to make myself feel better in the short term and in the long term? Now, I, for one, got into more comfortable clothes. Remember, Mr. Rogers used to do that? He used to come in and he used to take off his outside shoes and put on his inside shoes, and he would take off his jacket and hang it up because he was a neat man, and he would put on his cardigan. Please, I took off my bra a couple of hours ago. I have more comfortable clothes on. I even took my socks off and put on looser socks. There we go. Penny Myers. I'm in bed, but I did change my sheets first. That's a fun thing. Notice that, I mean, I don't particularly enjoy changing the sheets on the bed. The act of changing the sheets is not joyful. However, when you do like the scales of justice, right? How does it feel to be in dirty, dirty kind of wrinkly sheets that might have some fuzz on them from your socks and some sand from the beach, or you drooled, or maybe somebody got a bloody nose or whatever, versus nice, clean, crisp sheets. Sliding your clean, tired body into a well-made bed. I will tell you the delight I got from somebody making up the bed for us every night at the on the cruise. Chef's kiss. 5 stars. There we go. Penny Myers, and she did a clue, so I'll give you a tip. Penny Myers set her alarm for tomorrow's YouTube Live. Yeah, pretty much 12 hours from today, 8 a.m. Eastern. I scheduled one for tomorrow morning. So maybe you could also, if you are going to be around and you want to get a little kind of, this is how we're ending the day. How are we going to start the day? Probably the same way. Feeling gratitude, trusting that everything will be okay. We will control what we can control, and we will help ourselves and other people, all that good stuff. So maybe you want to set your alarm for 8 a.m. tomorrow morning. It's up to you. I never force anybody to do anything. I love this. This one persona had a small victory, but every victory is a victory. Small victory. I started the dishwasher. I love that. Congratulations. When you wake up tomorrow, the dishes will be clean. Now, do I have clean dishes in my dishwasher right now? Yeah. Will I put them away before I go to bed? Probably not. But will I be more likely to do that in the morning? Yeah, because I'm a bit of a more of a morning person. So I love this. Judy Dukes is saying, I'm cleaning off counters and stainless steel appliances so the kitchen looks nice in the morning. And here's an interesting thing. I just want to share this with you. This may not apply, but this came up in one of my coaching sessions today with one of my one-on-one clients. And yes, I do one-on-one coaching. Hopefully, you all you know that, because I don't like to sell it a lot, but I'm totally available for that. Oh, Freddie, before I start my thing, let me just, I got to share this one because Judy Dukes, this may help. Freddie Pepper says, there's an awesome group on Facebook of ladies who paint over precious moments and turn them into new artwork. I am a sucker for people kind of upcycling things, taking something that somebody no longer wants and turning it into something you do want. I just delight in that. So what a cool idea. So Judy Dukes, you might offer some of those to the lady, you know? And yay, Narelle, for embracing your life well lived note taking. Yeah, this is evidence of a life well lived right here. And I jotted down some of the things that I did when we were on that 1 minute. I jotted down because I scheduled my day. And I can use this as a map to backtrack and see what I did, and then take the time and write it neatly in my book, or, legibly at least. So it really can help you recalibrate, you know? When you look for the good, you will find the good. When you look for the bad, you're going to find the bad. So just notice what you focus on, you start to see more of. Ever done that where you're like, oh, yeah, our next door neighbor has a red car. And then you start noticing all the red cars that go by. But here's something. So I love that. But there was something before I forget what I was saying is this. Judy Dukes is cleaning off counters and stainless steel appliances so the kitchen looks nice in the morning. Laura Voorhees is planned on getting dishes done and neatening up the Tupperware cupboard during our 1 hour here. Check, check. And what I want to offer is sometimes we don't keep up our houses because we think, it's just me. Nobody else. It doesn't matter to anybody. Nobody else is going to see it. I have nobody to share it with. When I was doing some coaching with a client today, she discovered that one of the things that she was dragging her heels on, again, that's a phrase we use in my family, was putting away some holiday decorations. And when we stopped and I just gave her some time to think about it and write it down, what she discovered is she was kind of bummed out that she thought people were going to come and visit her and see her decor that she really likes, and nobody came to visit for whatever reason. And so I thought, well, we can't undo the past, but what can you do to increase the likelihood that somebody will see a job well done, to see your decor that you want to share? And I suggested to her, and she thought this was a great idea, so I offer it to you too, is even if you live alone, even if nobody else but yourself will see what you did, you will, and you are worth feeling good. You're worth it. Isn't that like a Charlie commercial or something like that? But you are worth it. Even if nobody else sees it, you deserve to live in a house that looks and functions and feels good. If you want to share that with somebody and show it off, send a picture to a friend who's going to cheer you on. Send the picture to the friend that was supposed to come and visit and see your decor, but she couldn't come and visit. Send her a picture anyway. You can share that. You're not alone. You do matter. And if you want other people to see what you have, share it with them. Okay? Now, I love this. Krista is reminding us that we have decluttering parties this weekend. You're right. So tomorrow, Thursday, and Friday, we have YouTube lives. They're scheduled. They're on the secret page. This weekend, March 22nd and 23rd. I always have to picture it in my head and read it. It's just the way I'm wired. The 22nd and 23rd, we have decluttering parties. They start at noontime Eastern and they go to about 1:30ish. They never stop earlier than 1:30. Sometimes they drag over, but not by much. If you're interested, if you look at your calendar this weekend and say, I've got some decluttering I want to do, and I have some time on Friday or excuse me, Saturday and or Sunday, sign up for them. It's camaraderie, it's accountability, it's a finite amount of time where you can get a lot done because you've got that kind of encouragement from people, and the info is on the secret page, the speakeasy page. Yay. Okay, so Ruth Barry is saying, as someone who lives alone, this hits home. Yeah, yeah. You know what? You deserve to live in a house that you feel good about. We are often told if we do something for ourselves, we are greedy, we are selfish, we are, whatever. So we tend to dismiss the things that would be good for us and show up better for other people than we do ourselves. So just notice, I want to just reiterate. Remind yourself, I am worth it. I deserve to feel good walking into my kitchen and seeing a clear counter and any smudgies off of my stainless steel stuff. So Judy Dukes is going to be partying with us. Woohoo! We're going to party on Sunday. I love it. And Norella's offering, I always do my dishes at night. I used to leave them because I was tired, but piling up depressed me, but walking into a clean kitchen is a positive start to my day. Now, notice what works for you. I love that. Notice that you start the day off good when there are fewer dirty dishes in the sink. So doing them at night gives you that, little zhuzh in the morning. Ooh, isn't this nice? So what What can you do right now? Is it nighttime where you are? Could you do something now that tomorrow morning you, future you, would feel good about you decluttering? And a lot of what we do around this time is not the decision making decluttering, but it's the important part of this, which is the maintenance. We often think of decluttering as knocking down the volume, the number of items in our house is decreasing. And this was another thing that came up during coaching today with somebody that I want to share is decluttering is not always saying I need to get rid of stuff. You may get to a point where you're just right. I was discussing it again with this client about holiday decor because she's big into that. And she's like, "Well, I feel like I should go through and decide on some things to get rid of." And I said, "But wait a minute. When you look at that stuff, do you like what you have?" Yeah. Is there anything there that's glaring that you do not actively like that's sticking out like a sore thumb? No. Well, trust that you are right now at your just right point. Decluttering doesn't always mean getting rid of stuff. There's another part to remaining and living in a decluttered home, which is the maintenance of it, you know, the maintenance of this. So, maintaining a decluttered home can also feel good. And it often takes so much less energy mentally and physically, and so much less time than the actual initial declutter decision making of what you're going to keep, because all you'll have left is stuff you know you want to keep. It's the right quantity and quality for you. So, maintenance can be done while you're listening to a podcast. Podcast, Johnny. Maintenance can be done while your head is a million miles away. You can focus on it and do a good job, or you can still pretty much throw laundry in the washing machine and be thinking, planning your next vacation. So that's the lovely thing about maintenance. As we were talking about, early to rise and early to bed. And in between, I cooked and cleaned, it went out of my head. Going through life with blinders on, it's tough to see. I had to get out from under and look for me. Everybody, there's a new girl in town and she's looking good. I could sing the whole song, but you guys know it, right? And if you don't, Narelle, since you're not from the US, we had this show called Alice back in the 70s, and that was the theme song. We had some great TV theme songs, of which I could sing them all, but I'm not going to. But notice when you work somewhere, you probably spend some time tidying up before you leave so that when you go back to that place you work, whether it's your desk or somebody's office or Mel's Diner or Pier 1 Imports or wherever you work, you probably take some time and you shift gears and start to do the maintenance so that tomorrow you will show up and feel good about starting the day. Now, this is cool. Therapy Gal Sue is reminding us, and this blows my mind. This Sunday, first weekend of spring. Spring, people, spring. Crazy, isn't it? It is over midway through March. So we are almost a quarter of the way through the year. Burp for dramatic effect. And here, let me take a sip. I realized I haven't been drinking this giant thing of water in front of me. So everybody hydrate. Hydrate. That probably would have helped me more if I had hydrated even more when I went to get my blood taken. Yes, it may mean you need to get up in the middle of the night and pee. That's okay. But better to be hydrated than desiccated. That's a 25-cent word. Okay, so Judy Dukes is bringing up a good point for her. She says, I feel like tidying up consumes a lot of my time and leaves less time for decluttering. Okay, maybe you flip it then. Maybe you see, because we can often, and this is, let me couch it this way. Okay, I don't know why I'm using the word couch. I don't know. Think about when you've been at a job and you have things that are kind of very, how we talk about surface clutter, stored clutter, and sentimental clutter. There are things you can do at any job that are kind of surfacey, busy work. Makes you look busy. Look, I'm working, but it's really not like the stuff that's going to help things. It's just kind of that piddly stuff. It's not, it's like working in your job versus on your job, but it does consume time and energy so that maybe you don't have time left for the deeper things. So the interesting thing, Judy Dukes, I would get curious about, and I used to do this as a job, was just simply observing people's systems, what they do. You may have an inefficient system of tidying. I'm just offering that. There may be ways to do it that are going to be a little bit more taking less time, basically, to get the same effect, taking less time, efficient, right? Without too much of a burden. You also may have habits that are causing you to have to tidy up more frequently. So notice your habits. You know that old saying, don't put it down, put it away. Maybe you need to, it would be beneficial to play with that and say, "Oh, nope, can't put it down, got to put it away. Oh, can't put it down, put it away." Kind of interrupting the unwanted habit to increase a wanted habit. But also, I would get curious. How much time does it actually consume? You feel like it is that the maintenance is taking up a lot of your time, consuming. I love that verb, consuming a lot of your time. But how much time is it? Have you timed yourself? Now you can do this one of two ways. You can you can start your timer and then ignore it and then do your maintenance, and when you're done with whatever maintenance, check and see how long it took you. Don't rush through it. Do not rush. Everybody goes at a pace that feels right to them. You will get an inaccurate measurement if you try to game the system. So notice how long certain tasks take you. It might take you a long time, and then you can get curious, why does it? The other thing though too is, if you yeah, it's the bad habits of me and my daughter. So kind of own that and practice something different. Now it's not going to be easy at the get-go because you have a groove. It's like when you've been down a road and you've been down a road and you've been down a road, the road starts to get a groove in it because you're always on it and you immediately slip into that groove. It's a habit. You now are paving a new path. And that's why I call the habit tracker pavers and potholes, because you are literally creating a new spot from starting here, but going somewhere else that your brain hasn't gone before. It's called a neural pathway in the biz, but I like to just think of it as like a paved road, like you're starting a path that you're walking down every day. You're walking down every day, and first there's grass there, but then the grass is bent, and then some of the grass is pushed down, and then some of the mud comes up, and then you're creating a path. The more you do something, the quicker it is for your brain to just switch gears to do that. Okay. But the other thing is, too, is decluttering takes time and energy, physical energy, but also mental energy. So if you are using up your precious mental energy with tidying up and never getting to the clutter, then flip it. Set a timer and do some decluttering, but set a timer for a finite amount of time and get some done, and then tidy afterwards. The thing that you will notice is, if you do the decluttering, and I say properly, but that's kind of judgy. If you do the decluttering and you remove items from your ownership, if you put things in donation bags, like shoes in a basket, for example, you will have fewer items to tidy up. So notice the beauty of doing the decluttering before the tidying is you will have fewer items to put away because you will own fewer items. You won't have 76 trombones. You won't have 76 pairs of shoes to put away because you then only own 8. And you probably only regularly wear 2 or 3 of those in any given season. Now, as you know from looking at me, I am not big. Well, you never see my feet, but I have them. Um, I am not big on a lot of clothes. I tend to wear the same things over and over again, except I will share this on the cruise. I brought some fun clothes and I made damn sure I wore every fun outfit that I brought. Okay. Yeah, and try it, Judy, and make sure that when you're putting it on the habit tracker, set a time limit and use your timer to practice noticing things. You can do the both. You can say, spend 20 minutes, if you've got 40 minutes or however much time you have that you feel like energy, I have the time and energy to do about X amount of whatever, cut it in half. Set your timer and say, I'm going to do half. My first half is going to be decluttering. And then when that timer goes off, I'm going to shift gears and I'm going to then tidy up for that second half. And then the timer goes off and I can be done with those things. Showing up for those little incremental things can really be a game changer. Doing a little bit at a time. Carla Jane has been cutting the grass. She's a good kid. She's cutting the grass. I love it. Now, yeah. Now McDoug says only touch it once and find a home, and yes to those, but I will offer to anybody and everybody. Some things can be easy to say but harder to do. So I offer to you, I think the find a home is really comes before the only touch it once. You may need to touch something a couple of different times before you either find a home for it in your home, a good home for it that makes sense to you. You may need to touch something more than once. You may need to incrementally get it to that place. That's okay. When you have a home for it, it just makes it easier to put stuff away. And then sometimes you can hop over all those little steps. Now, I love this. LO says, I'm going to focus on decluttering our bed sheets. We have way too many. Yeah. So I offer this to you. And this is what I did. I decluttered our sheets as well. And I did. I rarely buy things to make decluttering easier, but I I bought, it was wicked cheap. I got them like online. Those things that you can like fold up over your bed sheets and it makes it like a square. I'm sure you've seen them on like the TikTok shop or whatever. And all I kept was exactly what we needed to do a full change of sheets. So when we pull the sheets off of the bed to put, and notice I say we, if you share a bed with somebody, make sure they are participating in the um, stripping of and making up of the bed. Just want to offer that because that can be a pain to do by yourself. If anybody benefits from the decluttering or the stuff, they should participate in it as well. I just was reading Carly Jane says the clothes are out of here after Friday if I have to rent a U-Haul, but I'm coming to the party on Saturday. So yeah, the decluttering party on Saturday. Carla's going to be there with special guest stars, Carla Jane on Saturday and Judy Dukes on Sunday. Come on down to the New England Speedway in Epping, New Hampshire. Sunday, 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 and Saturday, Saturday, Saturday. Right? So we're going to have some fun. We're going to have some fun. But think about your bed sheets. How many full sets do you have? And please pick the good ones. You deserve to go to bed in sheets that feel good. Ellen is already here. She's got her milk and cookies. She's going off to sleep. She had a productive day. She's done. I'm going to go in. I admit we got to change the sheets, but I'm going to wait for my husband and we'll do it tomorrow. But notice the quantity of sheets you have. Do you have too many? You might. Pick out the good ones. Make sure they're matching. Make sure you've got your pillowcases and your flat sheet. I've heard only old people like us use flat sheets, but I love them. Whatever works for you, make sure you've got the good ones and that you have at least two pairs so that when you're washing one pair, one set, the other ones can go on the bed. And then seriously, you could just flip them out. Maybe you have an extra set in case you get people coming over and you've got a spare bedroom for it. You know? There we go. I love it. Carla's saying, I'm bringing my mic too. See, Carla listens to me and she heard me talking about wanting a Mr. Microphone to play with. She had one too, and she sent me one, which is so cool. And she is showing, I want to share with you, one of the things that Carla is excited about because she's been working with me as a one-on-one client is the fact that she is decluttering her mom's house. And she's not excited about that part, but that's what she's working on. But she is excited to hear an echo in that house. She's excited to every time she declutters, she sees more and more of these beautiful hardwood floors, you know? And so she's going to share it with people on the party, you know? Now I love it. I love it. Jess from LA says, I just organized and actually swept my living room. Rock on, Jess. I have Better Call Saul on pause just to listen to y'all. You know what? Notice how it can make things more fun when you feel like you're not alone. So you're not alone. You are not. Look at all the people in the comments. You get to know some people's names: Judy Dukes and Ellen and Elo and Carla Jane and Ruth Bally and Efren and McDugs, and everybody who's shown up tonight and participated. Sue and Krista and Ruth and Narelle and Freddie and Penny, that you're not alone. You are not alone, and you deserve to live in a home that feels good to you. And you can do something about it. Now, Carla Jane says we're the coolest group around. I think so too. I think this is a pretty cool group of people. Why do you think I'm up? I'm up at 8 o'clock. My God, what did the Lawrence Welk show just finish? But speaking of shows that just finished, it is now 9:01. I went a little bit over, but if I don't watch it, I could just hang out talking with you guys for days. But I want to be mindful of the timer and the time and the parameters and the boundaries because I want to respect your time as well as mine. If I said I was going to be here from 8 to 9 and then I blew past that, you might not trust me the next time. But what I want to offer to you is this. I hope you have a lovely evening. I know some good things happened to you today. After we shut off, take a few moments, reflect, write those things down. Do something that's going to make you feel good tonight and tomorrow. And I will see you back tomorrow morning at 8 a.m. Eastern to do the same thing there. That's great, Efren Carr. But look it's only 6 a.m. It's 6 p.m. in LA. You organized and swept your living room, and so now you can go watch Better Call Saul with like a clear living room floor and conscience and just enjoy your time. But also start to think of what could you do tonight to make yourself feel good. Okay, there ain't nothing wrong with feeling good, people. And I'm going to sign off and I'm going to go brush my teeth. I'm probably going to scroll on something. I'm going to write down the good things and I look forward to seeing you tomorrow morning. Who knows? I'll probably be wearing the same thing. Big surprise. I'm a human, okay? So, lovely evening to all of you. Take care of yourselves and take care of other people, okay? We got this.